fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'd like to speak today about something that's really close to my heart, and that is serving people. And particularly in the spirit of volunteering. I believe that volunteering not only improves the lives of the people that we're serving, but also benefits us. And that's been my experience. Between the years 2014 and 2015, the Bureau of Labor Statistics estimated that 62.8 million people volunteered in the United States. The age groups most likely to volunteer were between the ages of 35 and 44, and between 44 and 55. Men would volunteer most likely. The percentage of men that volunteered was 21.8%, but it was 27.8% for women. The three major reasons why people volunteer is one, for religious reasons. The second one is for educational reasons. And third is youth service. I'd like to go into to share with how I started my volunteering. And actually, it was in 1989. I was in a church in upstate New York while I was on recruiting duty. And it was a message that my pastor spoke of. And it changed my life, just this one message. And he said, you know, when you volunteer, you serve. He said, it's not your ability, it's your availability. And for some reason, that really clicked with me. And from there, I actually volunteered and went into a jail ministry. And you would think that you would go into a jail and meet horrible people. Well, you know, you'd be amazed. I met a lot of nice people in jail. People that made mistakes, writing bad checks, things of that nature. And yes, I did meet some of the bad ones, but I was amazed at the conversations I had with people in there. And so that kind of broke the stigma and the stereotype that I had about people. Martin Luther King said that we have two Americas, okay, the haves and the have-nots. And being a big fan of his, I've learned to experience that side of the world. I spent 9 years in the Navy on board 3 ships, and I lived with people from other cultures and races and backgrounds. And so I had that exposure, and that kind of carried me into my volunteer work. Now, I'd like to say that the volunteering is also, one of the things I really like about it is, there were times when I did not have much job satisfaction, or I just needed something more. And that's the beautiful thing about being a volunteer, is that you can have that satisfaction of knowing you're doing something and making a difference in the world. I also like to say that volunteering is a great way to get out of yourself. Now, I don't know about you, but there's been many times I've been way too self-absorbed with Patrick, okay? And boredom, okay? Even to the point of maybe a little bit depression. And I have found that volunteering is a great remedy for that. Okay? It helps you to forget about your problems in whatever capacity that you find yourself volunteering. Now I'd like to just close with an example of what volunteering looks like for me. Because I believe one of the things that it helps us to develop friendships, deep personal satisfaction, and puts us in touch with our own humanity. Yesterday I was volunteering at our church's food pantry. We have, on the west side of Pensacola, we average over 100 people a week. We give out food to people. It comes from the Manna Food Bank, it comes from the USDA and such. People can get food there once a month. They leave with 3 bags. And I got to admit, when I got up in the morning to go there, I'm thinking, okay, I want to go and I'm going to help carry bags and load bags and things of that nature. I'm thinking physical labor. But when I got there, I had to carry the bags out to the car for a nice lady. And she was sharing with me, and she had shared with others, that she just lost her youngest son, 43 years old, to alcoholism. If that wasn't enough, she said, I also lost a son who was 54 years old to the same thing. And for that several minutes that I spent with her, all I did was listen to what she had to say. And I've learned that we have one mouth and two set of ears. I've learned to be a very active listener. And you know what? Really, for the most part, that's what people really want and what they need, is someone just to listen to them. And that's all she wanted at that moment. So at the end of the 2.5 hours that I worked there, I was tired physically because we're really busy and you're constantly moving. But you know what? I was able to go home and have that deep satisfaction that at least